Hey folks, lyarri here. Today we're reacting to Is Your Red the Same as My Red by Vsauce. This always fascinated me as a kid. I'm curious what Vsauce has to say about it. And also, I have a ton of videos to react to that were recommended in the comments, like this one. I'm gonna try and balance that over the next 2 weeks. Let's go.
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. This appears blue. This appears yellow, and this appears green. Those of us with normal color vision can probably agree, but that doesn't change the fact that color is an illusion. Color as we know it does not exist in the outside world beyond us, like gravity or protons do. Instead, color is created
I think I can
inside
turn off the
our
captions here.
heads.
Sorry.
Our brains convert a certain range of the electromagnetic spectrum into color. I can measure the wavelength of radiation, but I can't measure or observe the experience of a color inside your mind. So,
Yeah.
how do I know that when you and me look at a strawberry, and in my brain, this perception occurs, which I call red?
I will say, sorry, just super quickly. I had a friend who had a synesthesia and I think how it personified for him was, I don't think personify is the right word. How it manifested for him is um he could like taste color and stuff like that, or like different. He was in band and like different instruments felt like different colors, I think, or sounds, and it was really neat. I always wanted to know like what does that actually feel like.
That in your brain, a perception like this doesn't occur, which you have, of course, also learned to call red. We both call it red, we communicate effectively, and walk away, never knowing just how different each of our internal experiences really were.
Yeah.
Of course, we already know that not everybody sees color in exactly the same way. One example would be color blindness. But we can diagnose and discuss these differences because people with the conditions fail to see things that most of us can. Conceivably, though, there could be ways of seeing that we use that cause colors to look differently in different people's minds without altering their performances on any tests we could come up with. Of course, if that were the case, wouldn't some people think other colors looked better than others, or that some colors were more complementary of others? Well, yeah, but doesn't that already happen? This matters because it shows how fundamentally, in terms of our perceptions, we are all alone in our minds. Let's say I met an
Depressing.
alien from a faraway solar system who, lucky enough, could speak English, but had never and could never feel pain. I could explain to the alien that pain is sent through A delta and C fibers to the spinal cord. The alien could learn every single cell and pathway and process and chemical involved in the feeling of pain. The alien could pass a biology exam about pain and believe that pain to us generally is a bad thing. But no matter how much he learned, the alien would never actually feel pain. Philosophers call these ineffable, raw feelings qualia. And our inability to connect physical phenomenon to these raw feelings, our inability to explain and share our own internal qualia, is known as the explanatory gap. This gap is confronted when describing color to someone who has been blind their entire life. Tommy Edison has never been able to see. He has a YouTube channel where he describes what being blind is like. It's an amazing channel. In one video, he talks about colors and how strange and foreign of a concept it seems to him. Sighted people try to explain, for instance, that red is hot and blue is cold. But to someone who has never seen a single color, that just seems weird. And as he explains, it has never caused him to finally see a color. Some philosophers, like Daniel Dennett, argue that qualia may be private and ineffable simply because of a failure of our own language, not because they are necessarily always going to be impossible to share. There may be an alien race that communicates in a language that causes colors to appear in your brain without your retina having to be involved at all, or without you having to have ever needed to actually see the color yourself. Perhaps even in English, he says, given millions and billions of words used in just the right way, it may be possible to adequately describe a color such that a blind person could see it for the first time.
Is he advocating just like assaulting blind people with words, forcing them to listen to different combinations from millions of people every day? I mean, I'm I'll do it if I have to.
Or you could figure out that once and for all, yes, or no, in fact, you and your friend do not see the same red. But for now, it remains the case that we have no way of knowing if my red is the same as your red. Maybe one day our language will allow us to share and find out. Or maybe it never will. I know it's frustrating to not have an answer.
I remember, sorry, that when I mentioned like when I was a kid, this really like was fascinating to me. And I remember like what specifically brought it up was when I was like 10 or 11, maybe a little older, I don't know. We were doing a project on what's it called? The Great Depression. And me and my friend like we got distracted and he started talking about random stuff like this. And yeah, I ever since then I've always thought about that randomly.
But the mere fact that you guys can ask me about my internal experiences, and the mere fact that I can ask my friends and we can all collectively wonder at the concept of qualia is quite incredible and also quite human. Animals can do all sorts of clever things that we do. They can use tools, problem solve, communicate, cooperate, exhibit curiosity, plan for the future. And although we can't know for sure,
They're so cute.
many animals certainly act as if they feel emotions, loneliness, fear, joy. Apes have even been taught to use language to talk to us humans. It's a sort of sign language that they've used to do everything from answer questions to express emotion or even produce novel thoughts. Unlike any other animal, these apes are able to understand language and form responses at about the level of a 2.5-year-old human child. But there's something that no signing ape has ever done. No ape has ever asked a question. Joseph Jordania's Who Asked the First Question is a great read on this topic, and it's available for free online.
Me.
For as long as we have been able to use sign language to communicate with apes, they have never wondered out loud about anything that we might know that they don't. Of course, this does not mean that apes and plenty of other animals aren't curious. They obviously are. But what it suggests is that they lack a theory of mind, an understanding that other people have separate minds, that they have knowledge, access to information that you might not have. Even us humans aren't born with a theory of mind, and there's a famous experiment to test when a human child first develops a theory of mind. It is called the Sally-Ann test. During the test, researchers tell children a story about Sally and Ann. Sally and Ann have a box and a basket in their room. They also happen to have a delicious cookie. Now, Sally takes the cookie and puts it inside the box, and then Sally leaves the room. While Sally is gone, Ann comes over to the box, takes the cookie out, and puts the cookie inside the basket. Now, when Sally comes back, the researchers ask the children, where will Sally look for the cookie? Obviously, Sally will look in the box. That's where she left it. She has no way of knowing what Ann did while she was gone.
I think she knows that Anne's a thieving bitch, personally, but continue.
But until the age of about 4, children will insist that Sally will check the basket. because after all, that's where the cookie is. The child saw Anne move the cookie, so why wouldn't Sally also know? Young children fail to realize that Sally's mental representation of the situation, her access to information, can be different than their own. And apes who know sign language but never ask us questions are doing the same thing. They're failing to recognize that other individuals have similar cognitive abilities and can be used as sources of information. So, we are all alone with our perceptions. We are alone in our own minds. We can both agree that chocolate tastes good, but I cannot climb into your consciousness and experience what chocolate tastes like to you. I can never know if my red looks the same as your red, but I can ask. So stay human, stay curious, and let the entire world know that you are. And as always, thanks for watching.
I like this video. The whole concept of like, um, do I experience things the same way as other people, especially my loved ones do, um, is always something that was really interesting to me. Like incredibly interesting. Just like I can't stop thinking about this. What would a 4-year-old mixed with a gorilla look like? Because the last like couple of minutes of that really made me think. 4-year-old. Okay, I need to specify human. It looks like otherwise it's just a bunch of. This is messed up, dude. There's no gorilla. There's no actual gorilla humans here. Yeah. Oh, okay, I have an idea. 1 second. Gorilla with a human face. Okay, I guess this works. What is this? Also, in hindsight, of course, I really should have expected some racist stuff here. I'm actually a little surprised there isn't any. But for like, I mean, I feel like this just makeup. Okay. Oh, it's a probably a face warping thing. Yeah. Oh, it's like a filter. That's so cool. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that face. Okay. We're okay. Vsauce talks about every single question that I've asked that no one could answer. So true. When I was in middle school, me and my friend were talking about something similar to this and realized we couldn't describe colors using words. So, so we came up with a way to describe them using sound and onomatopoeia. The result was us dying laughing from the random weird sounds we came up with to describe colors, especially yellow. For yellow, we basically described it as us screeching, "Ee!" We're still not okay mentally. I remember this, like, I love those little jokes in like elementary and middle school. Especially, I remember one of the things that really got me was when I watched the Simpsons movie for the first time, and I was in like fourth grade, I want to say. Um, and the next day in class, I was in fifth grade actually. The next day in class, the teacher was like talking about the EPA for some reason, and I just died laughing, and he got offended. Like he was insulted because he thought I was like talking to someone or something. But no, I was just remembering the Simpsons movie. um, I've had this theory since I was about 10 years old. Somebody said we all see things differently, and I took it literally and theorized that perhaps what I consider red could look like what I consider blue to someone else. Yet we both consider it red. Yeah, this was always so interesting to me. The strangest part about our different perceptions of color is that you likely not only see a different color red than I see, but also that your red would likely be a color I've never seen before if I could perceive it the same way you do. I can't imagine a color I've never seen before, but allow me to perceive the world through your eyes and brain, and I'll likely discover an entirely separate color palette that I was never previously aware of. Like, yeah, that was like it that isn't like technically true. Like that's what this comment's saying, but like I get what it's interesting. Like these are the thoughts that like came to me when I was a kid and I learned about this. I think we consider red to be hot because we associate it with hot things, but yeah, that's true. Sorry, I'm trying to see if any of these comments are really good. Hmm. Well, God, I need to burp. Okay. Well, that was a good video. I really enjoyed it. I'm a little upset because I watched If and like it was a really good react actually. I swear I was funny in it. But unfortunately I didn't like I pressed record and then apparently I pressed stop recording at some point before I started the video. Yeah, that'll be a little while. I probably like a week or two before I get to that again. But I'll do the two Vsauce uploads this week along with other uploads like I've been doing. And hopefully I'll clear out some of the backlog of video requests that I have along with two cool new videos. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, folks. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye. I also need to record a new outro. Hey folks, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.